everybody, welcome to today's video. So I'm sitting down today to film my 8 through 12 week pregnancy update. So that's how I've been doing these updates. If you missed the other ones, there are 2 others. You can check those out. I have 0 through 4 and then 4 through 8. So even though this says 8 through 12, I'm kind of doing it when I say 4 through 8, it's like the beginning of week 8. This would be the full week 8. But I don't really have, especially in the first trimester, I don't really have, I feel like what a lot of people have, where it's like at 8 weeks, I had this symptom, and then at 9, you know what I mean? I don't really have that. Really, the first trimester for me was just pretty similar the whole time. I said in my last video, I really got extremely blessed in the first trimester, and now that I'm filming this, I am in the second. But we're going to be kind of recapping in the first trimester. I have been so blessed with the easiest pregnancy that I think anybody has had. So maybe you're right there with me. Maybe you're having a tough pregnancy. If so, I'm praying for you, because I know that almost seems to be more common. But I'm very, very thankful. I didn't have any sickness. I'll go ahead and just kind of preface it with that at all in the first trimester, or even now in the second, but we'll get in that in the next video. I've just been feeling really amazing. I feel awesome. Yeah, so we'll jump right into just a few little things that I had weeks 8 through 12. So like I said, still no sickness. I said in the last video, the last update, that I would get a little bit nauseous. I wouldn't even really call it nausea, more like some queasiness, which those are different to me. I never really thought I was going to throw up. I would just get a little bit queasy if I was hungry. But it was just the same feeling that you would get with extreme hunger, if you know what I'm talking about. Like if you're just so hungry, you could just you feel kind of nauseous. It was like that, but it was happening a lot more often than it would like the second I would get hungry. If I hadn't eaten in an hour, you know what I mean? I would need a snack and I would feel a little bit queasy. But as long as I kept eating, and I don't mean even meals, like if I ate a cracker here and there, if I ate whatever, I didn't even get that feeling at all. And the feeling wasn't bad. I mean, it was totally tolerable, and it never really progressed. It would just stay at that same queasy level. It never got sick or anything like that. So that's really good. I will say I have had, in the first trimester, and this is something that I feel like has continued a little bit, dry eyes and lips. I said before, I think I may have mentioned in an update, that I've had dry lips throughout pregnancy. I've been drinking water. I'm trying to stay really on top of that. You know, I have my jug here that I really do try to stay on top of, especially during pregnancy, but I've had drier lips, and I think really just drier skin in general throughout pregnancy. And I know it can kind of go either way. So for me, it's been a little bit drier, but the eye situation, I haven't really been able to wear my contacts comfortably ever since I've been pregnant. And I didn't really put the 2 together until my sister told me it's probably to do with the pregnancy. And if you research it, there are some reasons that that could be. So I think that that's what it is, but my contacts just almost immediately after putting them in are uncomfortable, as if I've worn them overnight, kind of feeling just really dry. And I've never had that problem with contacts before. I've never had dry eyes before. So that, I think, may be a symptom. Right along with the dry skin thing, my skin isn't dry as in flaky or anything, just is drier than it used to be. And I think that that is playing a role, especially I noticed this immediately during pregnancy, in my skin being the best it's ever been. My skin has been really clear. If you don't know, I always dealt with hormonal acne. And I think because, you know, when you're not pregnant, your hormones are going up, and then, you know, before you start a cycle, they're dipping really far down and they're all over the place. But obviously in pregnancy, some of those hormones stay a little more consistent. So I think for me, that has been huge. That's really been helpful for my skin, and I've not had any major breakouts at all throughout pregnancy. And so that's been really amazing. I know, again, people either have usually good skin or really bad. It's usually no in between with pregnancy. So I'm really thankful that at least with this pregnancy, I am on the, you know, good skin train, although I wouldn't mind. I've dealt with acne my whole life, so it would be less shocking, honestly, than having good skin would be. I expected some acne, but I am thankful for that. It's a nice little break from it. So yeah, really the skin thing has been good. I did deal in the first trimester, and I think I'll talk about the second. I keep trying to talk about the second in this one, and that's not what we're here for, but I did weeks 8 through 12 still deal with a little bit. I didn't talk about this in the first videos that I did. I was still on IVF medications in at least some of those weeks, obviously, that I filmed those previous videos. So if you do IVF, sometimes in the beginning of pregnancy, when you're still on those hormones, you're still on progesterone and estrogen, and you're on those for almost the whole first trimester. So I was completely weaned off by 12 weeks of everything. I think maybe about 11 weeks I, weaned off the last thing. But I kind of had a hard time in the beginning knowing, is this from the IVF meds or is this actually from the pregnancy? So I did have some like bathroom issues when I was going through those medications, and actually it shifted a little bit after those. So I was dealing with some constipation, but this was after I went off the medication, I believe, is when I started noticing this. So before that, when I was still on the medication from IVF, I was experiencing actually the opposite. I would go through a little bit of constipation, and then I would go through a little bit of the opposite. So I know that's TMI, but that's what pregnancy is like. I'm sharing very little TMI in this video just because there isn't much of that type of thing to share, but I have dealt with kind of a little bit of that. I had somebody ask me the other day if I was dealing with anything like that, and yes, I did deal with some bathroom issues on the meds, and then now kind of like the opposite issue off the meds. So that's kind of, it has never been super bad though. It's never been where I felt like I needed to go on any type of stool softener or anything like that, which I know can be hard because you're pregnant. So it's like hard. There's only certain things you can take and certain things you can do. So I'm thankful, and it actually, it has progressively gotten better. So that's good. So we had our 12-week appointment, obviously, during this time frame, and I'd expected to have a scan. I thought I was going to have a scan. I researched everything, huge researcher, Dr. Google, all that stuff. And I've always seen that everybody gets a scan at 12 weeks from what I researched. Obviously, not everybody, because I did not. Which I'm going to get a lot of scans throughout pregnancy. My OB just does that. I think I have like 7 total, which is a pretty good amount. And so I kind of expected that I would have one then, but I did not. But we will be having our next scan after our 10-week scan is 16. But anyway, I didn't have a scan, but we did hear the heartbeat. Heart was beating strong, and everything seemed good. The 12-week appointment was actually my quickest appointment. I just like went in, told them I wasn't sick or anything like that. But we did have a conversation, and this goes along with first trimester symptoms. This is not really a symptom, but I didn't gain any weight in the first trimester. So my OB laid it out like they said you can gain, and they said it kind of like they want me to gain on this kind of track. So they want me to gain 6 pounds the first trimester, 12 the second, and then 12 the third. So I was like, well, that should not be a problem. When they told me that, I was like, I was so hungry the first trimester. That's another thing. I was actually really hungry. And again, I was having to eat because I was getting a little queasy, not super sick, but I never wanted it to get bad, because I didn't know how easy it was going to be in the moment. So I was eating frequently, and I was eating a lot, and food has never tasted so good. Like, food in pregnancy tastes better to me when you have a craving or whatever. It just like is the best thing ever. So I was eating a lot and not restricting. Of course, trying to eat healthy, but not like being really restrictive. I still eat cookies, I still eat things that I crave. I still enjoy that. But I didn't gain any weight in the first trimester. So my OB asked me if I had an appetite, and I did. I was eating fine, but I didn't gain any weight. And he said that that should pick up in the second trimester. So we will talk about that in our next one. But I did feel some tiny flutters pretty early on as far as movement goes. I was questioning it early on, and I kind of expected that I may feel flutters early because I'm very in tune with my body. Like when we went through the IVF process, I think it helped me as well, just knowing where everything is and what things feel like, and I really know what my body does, and I've been in tune with it. Pretty much my whole life, since I hit puberty and all of that. I've known kind of what's going on. But I would say by 12 weeks, maybe even a little bit, a couple times before that, I was feeling little tiny, they're tiny flutters, and it kind of felt like my eye was twitching or something like that, or like I had that actually, I know at 8 weeks I had like an eye twitch kind of feeling, and Google said it was probably just my uterus literally twitching from the growth. So that could have been that, but I think by 12 weeks I was feeling tiny flutters, and they were just occasional, but we'll talk more about movement in our next update as well. So again, I had lots of hunger, you know, just hunger was a common theme. And I did also work out for all of the first trimester, and I'm proud of that. Worked out daily. We don't work out on Sundays, but we try to work out every day besides Sunday, which, you know, it actually has been feeling really, really good, and I've been feeling like really great. And I think I said I feel really good during pregnancy. I think continuing to be active actually helped with that, and I'm really thankful that I was, you know, in a good enough condition and not super sick or anything, so I was able to do that. I'm not bragging about it because I know if I'd been really sick I wouldn't have been working out, so I'm really thankful for that. But anyway, I know my first trimester, you know, I mean, I love being pregnant. It's just, I'm so happy, but I know I didn't have anything wild. I didn't have any wild sickness or anything, and I'm so grateful for that. But I want you guys to share with me what your first trimester was like, because this will be the last first trimester update for this pregnancy anyway. And so let me know in the comments if you had just a horrific first trimester like I know so many do, or if you had a great one. Thank you for watching. Remember, you are incredible. Jesus loves you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.